All right. So there's this idea of levels of influence. In fact, it's extremely important to me and what I'm doing in life. And there's tools out there that can make it easy to see kind of what the influence of people are. And you might be interested in like who the top actor is. And I use this chart to look at, okay, who's an A-level influencer, a B-level influencer, et cetera. I use charts like this. I think through, are the people that I'm aligning my life with, A-list players, are they truly champion level behavior individuals or are they not? Are we pretenders in the world or are we contenders, as my old friend and mentor Cesar Torres likes to say? I'm a huge fan of that quote in reality that and I've been on both sides of that equation. Sometimes I'm a contender, and sometimes my attitude or my actions put me in a position of pretender. But I don't pretend to top the charts of influence. And I think that's something that's so helpful in today's society to think about. Is like, okay, are we really doing the actions necessary to be in the ranks of dominant success? And let's come back to that word. Let's be careful with that word, dominant. Or are we letting life kind of guide us and take us where we're going? So I found this little I don't know what you call this. I'm not a Reddit person, but I found this chart. There you go. And I found this tool. It was pretty cool. It's called Tier Maker. And I found this as inspired by a coach who wants. Why is my video not working on the screen? There we go. Well, I found it with this coach who kind of presents himself as this massive contender, this A-list person. I'm sure he wants that. And what's funny and interesting when you actually take a step back and look at it, it's like, okay, these are all YouTube influencers. And look, Mr. Beast made it on here. I honestly don't know anybody else because I don't pay attention that much to the influencer world. I do watch a lot of movies though, so I do know these individuals. I would say they are closer to what an A-list represents. And moving beyond both of those, now let's go to the coaching world. And the coaching world, I bet a lot of people who will eventually see this won't have any idea who any of these people are. Even John Maxwell and Tony Robbins, right? Even, as loud as Grant Cardone may be. And all of these coaches and these programs, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Michael Gerber, right, eMyth. The reality is, again, there's levels to this, and so what is truly the A-list, right? And I'm not here to actually define that. That's not the point of why I'm doing this. But look at this: the annual income of a top coach can vary significantly. 60,000 to 200,000. But I saw that somebody was here we go, an award-winning consultant, Don Markland, over 250 million in annual sales. Right, that's a lot of money. I think anybody watching this video, taking the time to watch this video, knows that's a substantial amount of money, and it doesn't even come close to the top consulting firms in the world, right? And these firms, they don't typically hire those coaches. They know that this is a different playing field, right? McKinsey, Deloitte, Accenture, EY, Bain Capital. And again, any of us, I love what Taylor Welch said when the whole fiasco was going on with the Olympics. And I'm not, but he says, peasants will be peasants in relation to one of the conflicts that occurred. So yeah, guys, attack this if you want to, by all means. Attack one of these companies and say how they're not great. And the reality of this list of companies, though, is some of these companies are making hundreds of billions of dollars. And so again, there's levels to influence, and you have to think then like, okay, well, who's the founder of these companies, and who are the coaches that are involved in these companies, and why does this matter or relate? Well, for you and I, the ones who do care about growth, the ones who care about being your best, knowing knowing that somebody else has done something allows us to say, maybe I can do that, for one. Two, it helps us understand our relationship as an entity that provides in a given world. And I used to feel I had to be better than other people. I grew up with that sentiment, feeling unappreciated if I wasn't better than others, and feeling like, I was kind of a lost cause due to certain social interactions. And so I don't know if you've ever had friends that picked on you and made you feel bad when you won, and then also picked on you relentlessly when you lost. And so you're just driven to win. But, some of us carry childhood traumas related to that. And it took me a long time. It created what's called an inferiority complex within me, where I then felt inferior to others, and I would make up for it by feeling like I had to be superior to everybody else. So when I won, when our band won second in state, and I was the lead trumpet player for that band in seventh grade, I knew I was a failure. How awkward and like disastrous is that? Maybe some of you are like, yeah, you were. That's fine if you feel that way, but I feel compassion. I feel bad for you because that prevented me from really looking at how do I maximize my own life? How do I find my own ability to accept myself in this world and my own ability to appreciate all that I can do and enjoy that as exactly what my reward is, what I'm meant to be grateful for, what I can accomplish. And so I'm going to give a big shout out to Zach Palmer, who is the one who inspired me to finally make this breakdown happen. And I got to give him a shout out because, one, he showed up in a way as a leader that I didn't anticipate because of this branding problem right here that he's currently moving away from. The Zach Palmer. I'm the sales and persuasion strategist. I'm the man. I am the best. Right? Not being his best self, but literally like trying to present himself as better than everyone else. How many influencers out there are you following that do that? It's toxic, right? Zach knows this. He's moving away from this. And I'm super grateful for you. And he's done some amazing things. He's helped people with $20 million and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know all the types of stories that get people motivated. I don't care about it. These are Dean Graciosi. He's great friends with him, and Tony Robbins too. And been part of the Tony Robbins coaching program and made the top results there. And he gets to stand in front of, like fake screens and present. And, a lot of us have done that and go through things like that. And at the same time, how do we lean into being our best self without feeling like we have to be better than everybody else, right? And that's what I aim for as a leader nowadays. I wasn't before. I was just trying to be better than others so that I could feel like I was valued in this world rather than realizing that I am valuable. And so are you. You are valuable. And that means so much to me. The definition of humility, if you look it up online, it is wrong. We've completely warped the definition. Let's do it right now. In fact, I don't know if it'll pop up on here. Let's see. Let me pause. Oh, that's terrible. Look at it right there. And now, how can a definition be wrong? Because definitions evolve, and they apparently evolve heavily based on social context, right? What is going on in today's world? Look at this. Humility is defined as a modest or low view of one's own importance, meaning like not liking yourself. What the heck, man? That's not a virtue. Humbleness, right? Yes, humility is involved with humbleness, but it has nothing to do with having a low view of yourself. In fact, it's the exact opposite of that. I'm super excited about this. Look at this, guys. Humility is a divine characteristic that involves seeing oneself as God sees one and putting the needs of others. And it says before one's own. I don't believe that. That's not even what the Christian definition says in the Bible. It says that you're supposed to love your neighbors as you love yourself, right? There's so much broken misinterpretation on the value of this virtue. Look at this. The Hebrew word anava, which is translated to humility, to occupy your God-given space in the world. It doesn't say to disown it or see it in a low position. It says to occupy. That means to dive into, fully embrace. And let's go one step further with that. I love this definition. Humility, a full appreciation, means to acknowledge one's limitations and imperfections while simultaneously deeply valuing the contributions of, and I would say, oneself and others. Humility is a blessing as it allows us to reach beyond ourselves and appreciate the gifts others bring to the world, a natural source of gratitude, right? Isn't that so contrary to the definition that people talk about and try to use? We need to understand our root values. And as we adopt our values, consider, are we adopting the modern version of that value, or are we moving away from it? So how does this really, well, going back to your best self, how can you be your best self if you're putting yourself down? if you think you have to have a low esteem of yourself. We have to fully embrace confidence, recognizing that confidence is the virtue. Arrogance is the vice. They are not the same. They are completely opposite and against, they are enemies of each other, right? And so, again, I'm super grateful for Zach on that. And then his coach, Andrew. I know that we're all working towards this. We're all understanding. I cannot stand when people claim things like this, be free forever. Like that you're going to be the one who makes that happen. Now, I don't disagree that we can't be free forever or that that's not going to happen, but it's a little bit too hyperbolic. There's a little too, marketing is just so manipulative these days that, it really, it counters me. It says, I don't know. But maybe he, what I did was maybe I read Zach's initial, like, the Zach, the Jackson. I'm not I am Jackson, right? Not just Jackson. That would demean I am Jackson, right? Fully embracing that. And so maybe I accidentally put some of what Zach believes or believed in the past on Andrew. And I guarantee you, both of these guys are phenomenal, phenomenal people to get to know. And they have great characteristics. And everybody with tremendous strengths, including myself, comes with tremendous weaknesses. There are pros and cons. There are harmonies that exist. Chad Cooper, I got to give him major, major credit. He's one of my strategic partners. He's becoming one of my best friends. We have not worked together for more than several months, but the rate at which we dedicate ourselves to each other and to those we serve is absolutely at light speeds. We've conditioned ourselves for years to do this, right? Him as a regimental Marine of the Year, and as one of the top coaches in the Tony Robbins program as well for many years, somebody who retired from Microsoft at age 35, and somebody who has a whole lot of wisdom and love to give to the world. Well, he introduced me to Zach. So we're all on this opportunity and journey, including as well another shout out to a strategic partner and a business owner, a leader that I know I can turn to, Barbara Ann Gardenhire Mills. Barbara Ann is also somebody who's become one of my best friends this year and somebody who is on the same type of mission to be her best self. And with Vision Pros Live, there's an opportunity there as well. We've got so many great leaders coming in. I was geeking out with Ryan on the show. He is such a world-class leader. And the same thing is true with Dr. Gerhardt. Oh my goodness. Ashley Demoktateo, Kareem Abdelnaga. I surround myself with people who value being their best selves. John Whaley, huge shout out. Right, we got Fletcher Ellingson as well. Amazing podcast show with him. Harry, Brian, Javanka, Peyton. These are all individuals who are striving to, and when I say striving, embracing the opportunity, maximizing their life, not grinding it out, not hustling, but seeing the full opportunity to embrace all that, in my opinion, God has given us. And then there's also Oportunidades Latinas, or Opportunities, our other homegrown program. And I'm so proud of our Latino team that has helped build this out, our small but growing, amazing team that has interviewed some world-class Latinos on their show, people who have 900,000 plus subscribers on their YouTube channels. And it is such an awesome piece to be a part of. And I think I'm going to be evolving a little bit away from Vision Pros Live, not because I'm going to be leaving completely. I need other leaders to come in and host that show because I want to launch a show about being your best. And there's a certain type of leader who wants to step into being your best. And it's a different level of conversation, a different type of energy than exploring vision for the first time. And while I love and appreciate, and I need to do that for the world because I've been called to help with that, I also know how valuable it is that I spend my time on what truly, deeply drives me. And so that is kind of what this video is about, is I want to inspire the world to step into being your absolute best, whatever that looks like for you. And I think we're going to create a new show tier to where we take over that. Now we have another show, the Power Take, that's all about business news. Maybe we'll find somebody someday to take that one over as well. If you feel like that's you, if you feel like you want to be involved in circles like this and opportunities like this, then by all means apply. Come and contact us. Go through what we call the combine experience, right? You don't get into the NFL or the NBA by just being let in the door and not having any types of evaluations. And if you're not inspired by what we're doing, that's okay too. right? Go and build what you want to build. Let's all be our best selves together, recognizing that at the end of the day, outside of the noise that we create in this podcast world, there's 8 billion people to help, many of which have no idea that opportunities like this even exist, which is exactly why I also spend so much time on my program opportunities. So I love you all. I appreciate all of your feedback, your comments, anything that you can share with us about the process. If there's something that you learned in this, please let me know that too. If there's something that you feel I can get better at and learn from this, please also let me know that. And, I hope that we all strive really hard to uplift each other as we continue to be our best selves. Have a great day, everybody.